We're kicking off with AEW Dynamite Grand Slam, where Prince Nana appeared to give an update on Swerve Strickland's health following the brutality fans saw at All Out 2024. The segment was more notable for the AEW debut of MVP, who interrupted Nana to speak highly of Strickland and his AEW World title reign this year. MVP also called out Nana for his handling of Strickland, specifically referencing how Hangman Page burned down Swerve's house and walked away smiling after the events of All Out. MVP suggested that Nana was more focused on selling coffee and dancing than on helping Swerve navigate his career before handing over a business card to Nana. Nana was told to pass that card to Strickland so that his client can talk business, and with MVP positioning himself as a potential manager, this could be a major shift for Swerve. MVP is signed with AEW according to Fightful Select, and his debut follows reports that his fellow Hurt Business alum Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin are in talks to join as well. MVP, working with Totally Harmless Concept LLC, has filed to trademark the Hurt Syndicate, which has only added fuel to the idea that his Hurt Business allies will soon join him. On Twitter, Strickland seemingly reacted to the proposal, sharing an image of Prince Nana, albeit one that makes clear that Swerve is interested in what MVP has to say. Do you think Swerve Strickland should choose MVP and break away from Prince Nana? And what do you make of a Hurt Syndicate with MVP, Swerve, Lashley, and Shelton? Sound off down below. Now, the last time the WWE Universe saw AJ Styles competing on a broadcast show, it was at Clash at the Castle Scotland, where he came up short against WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. Some have suggested that Styles may be injured, but Fightful Select reports that AJ is healthy and worked WWE's recent tour of Japan, again against the American Nightmare. Not only that, but the report adds that WWE sources believe that AJ's contract will expire either later this year or early next year, and there's no confirmation about efforts to re-sign him. Several notable figures in the industry believe his contract may be up soon, including those who have worked with him, and if he does re-sign, fans won't get to see a ton of the Phenomenal One. During a live Q&A, WrestleVotes was asked about AJ's future in WWE and shared that Styles is ready to start winding down a little bit. AJ himself has said that after his days in the ring, he'd like to work in a behind-the-scenes role with WWE, possibly as a trainer in the Performance Center. Whatever the future holds for AJ Styles, WWE will likely make an effort to re-sign him, and we'll have to see what's in store for the Phenomenal One at this stage of his career. Alexa Bliss hasn't competed for WWE since January 2023, but this week, the goddess once again sparked speculation with a black and white photo of herself. The photo is a throwback image of Bliss in black lingerie with the caption, "Don't worry darling, I'll see you soon enough," leaving many to speculate that a return is finally in the works. Bliss's most recent match was at the Royal Rumble in 2023, where she was defeated by then Raw Women's Champ Bianca Belair, and on this week's Raw, Bliss's Lily doll was seen backstage. While the appearance of Lily made some fans feel Bliss's return is right around the corner, one source told PW Insider that Bliss may not be included into creative plans until after the holidays. There has also been speculation that WWE is engaging in long-term storytelling, something that the promotion has grown more accustomed to in recent memory. This long-term storytelling could see Bliss align with the Wyatt Six, given her past with Bray Wyatt, and many fans expect her to join the group upon her return to TV. We'll have to see what happens next, and although Alexa Bliss is very happy as a wife and mother at home, her days in the ring are not over yet. This week, Netflix's highly anticipated Mr. McMahon docuseries finally released, and fans worldwide have been watching to learn more about the infamous ex-WWE chairman. With that said, the documentary cut hours of unused footage, according to consulting producer David Schumacher, who spoke this week on the Bill Simmons podcast. Schumacher revealed that 4 hours of interview footage with McMahon could not be used because he was struggling with his voice at the time, describing it as sounding like a frog. Although a lot of valuable content was recorded but went unused, Schumacher believes that the final narrative crafted by Chris Smith and his team is still impressive and compelling. Following the release of the 6-part series, Janel Grant's attorney Ann Callis issued a scathing statement condemning the series for glossing over allegations against the billionaire. Grant's accusation that McMahon sexually trafficked and assaulted her during her WWE run led to McMahon's resignation this past January, though he denies wrongdoing. The statement reads, "The Mr. McMahon docuseries makes it clear there is no difference between Vince McMahon's on-air persona and his true self. They are one and the same. His character, known for violent outbursts, sexual deviance, and manipulation, is the real Vince McMahon and exactly what Janel Grant experienced behind closed doors at WWE for years. While the docuseries put McMahon's obsession with power and control on full display, it only scratches the surface of his criminal behavior, and it fails to tell the full story of his abuse, sexual assault, and human trafficking of Ms. Grant. She deserves the opportunity to tell her story on her own time and in her own way. We look forward to her day in court and to seeing McMahon at last held accountable for his actions. While the doc features in-depth discussions about McMahon, many have criticized the project for not delving deep enough into the serious allegations against him. We should clarify that McMahon's interviews were conducted before Grant's lawsuit went public this year, and the doc states that McMahon refused more interviews once it had. Shortly before the docuseries released, it was reported that McMahon had parted ways with the PR firm Strickland Company, who have previously represented Pepsi and Make-A-Wish. In an update, the Wrestling Observer newsletter reports that McMahon has hired Edendale Strategies as his new PR and media representative, but why did he make this switch? McMahon reportedly feels that Edendale Strategies, led by President Tony Feinberg, is better suited to handle the modern media landscape compared to Strickland Company. Edendale is seen as having a stronger grasp on the digital and online reporting world, which McMahon considers crucial at this stage in his career. Given what's been said about McMahon, Edendale have their work cut out on helping his public image, but Vince has faith that his new PR firm can do exactly that. We should also mention that the documentary series covers a lot of events from McMahon's past, which we are opting not to go into length about in this video. Are you going to watch Mr. McMahon on Netflix? If you have, do you think it goes in depth enough into McMahon's work and many scandals? Give us your reviews in the comments. With an AEW World Championship opportunity up for grabs, Jon Moxley was accompanied by Marina Shafir as he made his walk to the ring for his main event match with Darby Allin. The two men are known for leaving everything in the ring, so it won't surprise you that this was a tough fight, especially for Allin, who won the title opportunity in July's Royal Rampage. The bulk of this week's match saw Moxley find new ways to hurt Allin, who'd occasionally make a comeback with a big risk, though a suicide dive saw him crash into the exposed hard floor. Moxley and Shafir had exposed the floor beneath the ringside padding, and this match was more like a series of car crashes than a typical match, but that's what made it fun to watch. A particularly brutal spot saw Moxley put Allin's face against the rope and kick it, and Allin was bleeding a lot from the mouth straight after this spot. AEW officials tended to Allin backstage after the match, and the face-painted wrestler was said to be okay despite the spot in question. Moxley got the win with a middle rope Death Rider, earning a shot at the AEW World title, but after the match, Bryan Danielson emerged and choked his former ally with a necktie. This was a nod to Bryan's 2010 firing from WWE and retaliation for Moxley trying to suffocate him with a plastic bag at All Out, and Marina Shafir attempted to pull Danielson off Moxley. Pac and Claudio Castagnoli came to their aid, and the BCC started beating down and choking Danielson while Moxley recovered. Private Party Zay and Quen alongside Commander ran down to help Danielson, but one name notably absent was Danielson's friend and Claudio and Pac's trio's title partner, Wheeler Yuta. The chaos was eventually broken up, and Danielson grabbed the mic to declare war on Moxley and confirmed that their title match will come at AEW WrestleDream on October 12th. That show will be in Tacoma, Washington, Danielson's home state, and promises to be a fierce battle between two of AEW's top stars. Will Danielson's quest for revenge prove to be his undoing? Will Jon Moxley use his allies to ensure him another reign as AEW World Champion? Sound off in the comments below. Now, AEW has often made headlines due to backstage drama, including 2022's Brawl Out and the following year's Brawl In, resulting in the termination of CM Punk. Punk was fired when AEW was in his hometown of Chicago, and there's also been smaller instances of backstage drama within the company's women's division. AEW's backstage issues have become such a well-known matter that the company has leaned into the conflict, as the backstage fight of CM Punk and Jack Perry was aired earlier this year. Speaking this week to WFan Daily, Tony Khan was asked about the backstage drama in AEW, which has often overshadowed the work of talent in the ring. He said, "I think it's important to remember that every situation is its own unique thing, and that's true in sports, and teams change, relationships change. I've had a lot of great relationships with wrestlers and players in sports that have changed. Whether people still play for your team or not, doesn't mean that you don't still like them. That's the important nuanced thing to remember, whether it's wrestling or football or entertainment or any walk of life, because we're all professionals. AEW may be full of professionals, but these professionals have repeatedly led to bad press for AEW, with fans critiquing Khan's apparent inability to stop these backstage fights from happening. But what do you think? Is Khan's answer solid enough, or should more be done to combat the rise of backstage conflict in AEW? Share your thoughts down below. When AEW launched in 2019, it provided WWE with its most direct competition since WCW, so it's hardly a surprise that Tony Khan's company is often compared to the defunct promotion. The fact that AEW airs on TNT and TBS has only added to this comparison, and now AEW Dynamite is getting close to surpassing the number of episodes of Monday Nitro. This week's Dynamite marked episode 260 of AEW's flagship show, and with Nitro hitting 288 episodes, AEW will surpass WCW on Wednesday, April 16th, 2025. While speaking to The Breakfast Club, Mercedes Mone was asked about AEW Dynamite getting close to outlasting Nitro and said, "AEW is here to disrupt this industry. Next week, we're going to be celebrating 5 years of AEW. We're beating out WCW, and fans online are getting mad about that every single day, but it's the best it's ever been." During the interview, Mone also explained her 2022 exit from WWE and spoke of the personal issues she faced, particularly with Vince McMahon. Mone felt uncomfortable with how he communicated with her, often feeling talked down to, which contributed to her moment of clarity and a decision to leave. She said, "I left for many different reasons. A lot of personal stuff happened with myself and the chairman at the time. I didn't like how he talked to me and how I was talked down to. I was like, it's time to listen to your soul and your heart. There was a light that came to me and I left WWE. A guide told me." Mone stood up for herself after years in the company, believing that her experience was significant enough to warrant a change, hence why she walked out in May of that year. When asked about the allegations against McMahon, she stated that she wasn't informed about the legal matters, but reiterated her point that how he spoke to her was problematic. Mone clearly doesn't regret the decision she made in 2022, and after years as a top name in WWE, the CEO is finding similar success outside of the promotion. What do you make of what she had to say about WCW and her take on Vince McMahon? Give your thoughts down below. Since the March 11th, 2022 edition of SmackDown, Big E has been out of action after sustaining a broken neck, but during his absence, he's remained active and made numerous appearances. While speaking to Kyle Odegaard of Philly Sports Talk, Big E shared that he'll undergo neck scans in 3 to 6 months, and if he gets cleared, discussions about a comeback will take place. Big E is taking each day as it comes, a statement that he admits is a cliche, but right now, any plans for his future in the ring depend on what the doctors have to say about these scans. The former WWE champion went to Cancun for stem cell treatment at RejuveStem and has said he feels great after the treatment, and many fans are hopeful that his return is finally in sight. Big E also addressed the rumors about the New Day possibly splitting up, stating that Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods have both had great success as singles competitors. Despite a split being teased on Raw, Big E believes it's possible for them to pursue their singles career while still remaining as a team, and said there's many possible paths for the duo. Do you think an in-ring return is wise for Big E given his neck, or should he stay connected to wrestling in some other form? Let us know down below. FTW champion Hook retained the title after a hard-fought match with Roderick Strong, submitting him to the Red Rum hold, and the two shared a sign of respect with a handshake after the bell. It's interesting that the pair shook hands, as Strong has been a heel for most of the year as part of the Undisputed Kingdom, and this was the case heading into this match. The handshake was therefore an uncharacteristic move from Strong, as the Undisputed Era alum has been one of the most ruthless heels on AEW's roster as of late. It remains to be seen whether this will be the start of a change in direction for the Undisputed Kingdom, as the group is without its leader Adam Cole and its muscle in Wardlow. Cole hasn't wrestled for over a year, while Wardlow has been missing since March, and it wasn't just Strong who showed respect to Hook. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett, who were at ringside, all gave Hook handshakes, in another sign of sportsmanship from the Undisputed Kingdom that could be a sign of a major change. Hook then stood up in front of the Queens New York crowd and said it was time to retire the title, and hugged his father, AEW commentator, and the belt's originator, Taz. AEW revived the title in 2020 when it was held by Team Taz's Brian Cage. Since then, Hook has become a 3-time champion, feuding with the likes of Jack Perry and Chris Jericho. As for Taz, he created the title in the late 1990s during his ECW run, and it was part of his brutal feud with Sabu, with many lauded matches over the unsanctioned championship belt. Do you think retiring the FTW title was the right call? What do you think is next for Hook after surrendering the gold? Give us your thoughts in the comments section. After AEW Dynamite, this Saturday's taping of Collision took place, and that taping saw Jack Perry put the TNT title on the line in an open challenge. The Scapegoat's offer was answered by none other than Minoru Suzuki, much to the delight of the New York crowd, but after an intense match, Perry retained over the Japanese icon. With Perry retaining, the question now is who will be able to take the gold from the Scapegoat, as with the Elite by his side, it may be a long title reign for Jack Perry. The tag team titles were on the line on Dynamite as the Young Bucks defended against Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay in a fantastic display of tag team wrestling. The Bucks have chemistry with almost everyone, but Ospreay and Fletcher seem to bring something out of them we haven't seen in a while. The four fought through 2 commercial breaks, showing they had plenty of time to make this as exciting as possible, and this was probably the best match with the Young Bucks in months. After Ospreay refused to let Fletcher use a screwdriver and told Don Callis off, the Bucks hit the BTE trigger to get the pin after illegally using the title belts as weapons. Nigel McGuiness kicked off Dynamite with his entrance for his proposed match with Bryan Danielson, but when it was time for the AEW World Champion, no one came out. This leaned into the idea that Danielson had not been cleared to wrestle, but a moment later, the final countdown played and Danielson came out for a big pop. The match began and McGuiness was caught off guard with a forearm strike, and Danielson was practically playing with Nigel early on before the Brit found his second win. When that happened, the pair began trading uppercuts, and though it was a hard-hitting match at times, the match never reached the levels fans may have expected based off of their ROH encounters. The problem with this match, like so many Dream matches, is that it's been anticipated for so long that it couldn't live up to expectations, no matter what the pair delivered. Add in that McGuiness hasn't had a singles bout in 13 years, and it makes it even more difficult for them to put on the banger people expected, even with someone as talented as Danielson. On the positive side, this got better as the match progressed and the chemistry came back, and the pair put on an entertaining match despite McGuiness being out of practice. Both men came close to winning several times before McGuiness tapped out, and he could actually be seen saying "thank you" before tapping, which shocked announcers. Though the match was over, the drama didn't end there as Christian Cage made his way to the ramp, threatening to cash in his title opportunity by signing a contract he had in his hand. Before Cage could ink the deal though, Kip Sabian swiped the pen, preventing a title match from being made official. Cage had previously warned that he'd put Kip into the ground next to his father, so this was payback, and backstage, Cage ran into Claudio Castagnoli and Pac. This added yet another layer of intrigue to the AEW title scene, as while Bryan was victorious this week, Cage's looming title shot continues to spawn questions. When will Cage get his title match, and what role will Castagnoli and Pac play in the unfolding drama? We'll have to stay tuned to find out. On Dynamite, Orange Cassidy introduced Rocky Romero as the newest member of the conglomeration, joining himself, Mark Briscoe, and Kyle O'Reilly. Tomohiro Ishii was a member but has since returned to New Japan, and hopefully the conglomeration doesn't end the same way as the Best Friends earlier this year. Mariah May retained her AEW Women's World title at Dynamite over Yuka Sakazaki, but what happened after the match left fans with more questions than answers. When the Glamour attempted to attack Yuka after the match, Willow Nightingale rushed to save her, but May was able to land a sneak attack from behind. As things escalated, Mina Shirakawa made her return to AEW and appeared on the stage, and while she seemingly joined the celebrating May, her body language suggested hesitation. While Yuka Sakazaki tried to continue the fight, Mariah May chose to retreat, leaving the fans puzzled by Shirakawa's involvement and her apparent reluctance to engage. Mina's last appearance for AEW was on the August 30th Rampage, where she defeated Misa Kate, and though she's back, the dynamic between her and May is unclear. Shirakawa's demeanor hinted at internal conflict during the celebration, and what will this mean for May and the AEW Women's World title scene? Only time will tell. And that was the Grand Slam edition of AEW Dynamite, and what did you think? Did this show live up to your expectations? Let us know down below, and as always, thanks for watching.